Hello, is it me? Got that drizzling.
All right, so this is a very brief, probably about a 15 to 20 minute video test run for ShawNuff podcast. I know we've been saying we're going to get something for a while, but we've been lazy and just haven't fucking done it. So here we go. September is Suicide Awareness Month. I believe that's what it is. And I kind of wanted to touch base on that and a couple other things. I kind of just want to introduce ourselves. My name is Joe. This is Hayden. Well, he can introduce himself if he wants to.
Oh no, do it with my hands.
Yeah. But no, yeah, we're just this is going to be some of the topics we're going to be starting with. We're going to do different topics. I'd like to try to record at least 2 to 3 times a week with different guests, different people. That way we can, stay kind of diverse and just have different things and opinions and everything else from everybody. But yeah, so suicide prevention or awareness. I never was a big mental health person as far as believing in it. I thought it was a lot of things for attention, if I'm being completely honest. It's a very, very touchy subject for a lot of people. Myself, I'm kind of more open to it now, considering the things that I've been through over the last, we'll say the last 10 years, because I think, my mental health kind of went into overdrive, or how it unlocked whenever my mom passed away in 2016. If anybody who knows me knows that my mom was 100% my best friend. I was a mama's boy 100%. It still doesn't feel like it's been almost 10 years already. But yeah, I never was really aware of mental health. I've had people say that they were this, say that they were that, they were struggling, they were, some people say they're bipolar, some people say they're just, they're depressed and, just everything and above. Like I said, I never was a big person into that. I never really fed into it. I kind of called bullshit on it for most of my life. So I got married back in, 2021? And, it was, everything was great. We got married kind of quick. But, I wouldn't change anything for it. The only hard part was us trying to blend our family together, because I'm a dad with 2 girls. She's a mom with 2 girls. So we kind of just jumped into it and didn't think about it. But let me fast forward to where my mental health started messing with me a little bit more. So just like any other marriage and any other problems, there's always obstacles and things about marriage that people don't tell you. And this is one of those things you have to find out. I never intended on getting married. I never had any plans on getting married, but we just kind of found each other. She needed me, I needed her. And I think that's why we clicked together so easily. But, like I said, there's always problems. We have ours, we still do. So in June of this year, we ended up splitting up for a little while. Probably about 2 or 3 months we split up. And we're still currently working on things right now. And I got to the point to where it started messing with me more and more, because my normal for the last almost 3 years was her every day and our kids every day. And that changed. So yeah, I struggled a lot with that. I still do, just because, it's, we're still currently, living separate right now. Which is, it's not a big deal. We're both working on each other, working on ourselves and getting things right. And, back to where we need to get back to where we used to be. And I think little by little it's helping out. But it doesn't make it not tough. So I'm going to say probably about a month and a half to 2 months ago, I had a really bad mental breakdown. I was to the point to where I did want to harm myself. I made a video telling my wife that I just couldn't handle it no more, that I couldn't take it. Now, I don't really honestly know if I could have done it or if I would have done it, but that was the closest that I've ever been. Now, I ended up having to go to a facility down in South Carolina in Charleston, and with, it was a group of people that were having the same problems with me. And I knew this is where it really hit me, because like I didn't really see that many people that had problems like that until I got down to there. So I was there for 9 days, I believe is what it was. Um, and yeah, like the stories there are a little insane. I'll dig deeper into a couple of the stories here in a minute. But yeah, I wanted to, give my little spiel on it, and I'll let Hayden talk about his thoughts on it, and then we'll kind of go back and forth, and I'll tell him the stories, and then we'll talk about everything that happened to me while I was down there, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Well, first and foremost, I agree 100% with what you said in the beginning. I always thought it was a pity party thing.
Yeah.
Just me personally, because I've never dealt with it. I still haven't, thankfully. Even through my split to the person I thought I was going to be with the rest of my life, I never thought about. But when I heard about you, considering we've been friends, 13, 14, 15 years?
Yeah, close to it.
That was a shell shock, because I've never seen you as that kind of person. So it was like pardon the language, a dick punch.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I never thought it was going to be that way. Like, I never thought that could happen to me. I was one of them people who was like, oh, hell no, that never happened to me, because I still, up until that moment, like, I still thought it was a bunch of bullshit. Not having the depression of when my mom passed away to compared to splitting up with my wife is two completely different things, two completely different feelings. That's my mom. That's somebody you'll never get back. But like the love that me and my mother had, between each other, mother and a son, compared to the one that me and my wife had, was way different. And I never thought about that either until, the split, like our split up happened. It was, like you said, it was more of a dick punch to my ego, because like I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, well, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, we're going to be fine, this and that. And it didn't go that way, which is what I think drew me closer to the mental health problem and the mental breakdown that I had, just because reality sat in and I wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, reality seems to be a real, kind of like karma, a real bitch. It likes to smack you in the face.
No, it definitely can. It did me. It hit me pretty hard. I got, and I know she's gonna, as soon as she sees this, and I damn admit this, I kind of got into a groove to where I was comfortable with how everything was going between both of us, and I kind of just, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of went into like a robot mode, to where I was so used to waking up, going to work, coming home, going to sleep, like it was just over and over and over and over and over again. Repetitive, yeah, and like that's what my normal was. So when my normal got messed up and changed, that's when I changed, and that's whenever, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was an asshole to her. I was, we didn't really, we wasn't really spending time with each other. We wasn't getting along. We were just kind of staying there because we were staying, like I was staying with her, and we just, we had issues just like anybody else does. But eventually those issues caught up with me, and caught up with us. I ain't gonna say just me. And I got to the point to where I couldn't handle it, and which led me to the situations where, what our split up eventually happened. And I ended up having to go, like I said, to this little hospital down in Charleston. So with that being said, I'm going to tell a couple stories about when I was down there, because it was so surreal, the stuff I seen while I was down there, the stories that I heard when I was down there. It was more than just for mental health. It was like for drugs and excuse me, and a little bit of everything. So I met this one guy down there. He was an Army vet. He was in the Marines for 8 or 9 years. His name was Daniel. Was his name? I'm gonna say his last name, partly because I don't remember it. But yeah, super nice kid. Young. So his story is military rules are a lot different than like us civilian rules, and I didn't know this until I talked to him about it. I know they have higher standards than normal people like us do, but I didn't know it was this extreme. So basically, he was in there for him and his longtime girlfriend were living together. Both of them were in the same branch of the military. They met in the military. They were together. Like they planned on getting married. Like all this good stuff. Well, he had some issues with her as far as now to hear him explain this. Now, like I said, I'm not going to take sides for either one of them because I don't know either one of them. Just from the time I spent with him, I mean, he seemed like a pretty legit dude. But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that his story is 100% true, and it doesn't mean hers is 100% true or false as well. But basically, he and her, she came home. He cooked dinner for, like he said, this was a normal. He cooked for her all the time. Made sure like it was kind of like he was like their roles were reversed, like as far as like what a normal housewife and a normal husband do. Like everybody always thinks, oh, it's how the woman cooks, the woman does that, but like it was the reverse. Like he was the one that he cooked, he cleaned, and like made sure that like they didn't have kids, but they had animals. Like he took care of them, did this and did that, which I mean that's neither here or there. But they had got into it, and basically she had been hitting him like a lot. Like it wasn't the first time that it happened, and then eventually he got to the point where he couldn't take it. Um, he said he never hit her back. He said the only thing he did was he grabbed her, put his knee in her and his elbow on her chest, and held her down until the cops got there, the military police, because they lived on base. Like there's like an apartment complex that's like somewhere near on base that they lived in. But so with him being there, and that situation happening, he ended up getting arrested because they automatically took her advice and her story, and she flipped it because she's it's like anemic. I think it's anemic where they bruise real easily, something like that. I can't remember what the hell it is. But anyways, I probably sound stupid
Well,
because I don't remember what it
the
is. But
rules are always crazy with the whole domestic dispute.
yeah.
I don't want to say violence.
Well,
dispute.
normally, like
they take the women's side.
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, with my first kid's egg donor, same thing with her. Like she literally punched me in the back of the head, and I pushed her off of me, and I went to jail. And they didn't do shit to her. So this is kind of the same thing. Like he ended up having to go to military prison. So they gave him a choice. He could either go to the facility that we were in, or he would be stuck in prison, the military prison, until they figured out what was going on. Now they told him if he would have tried to go to trial with it for the military police, that it would have took almost a year and a half before they would have had him a court date, which I think is ridiculous. So he had to stay in military prison until then. So this man's been deployed 2 or 3 different times. Like, I mean, I like his stories were pretty legit from what he was telling everything. But like I said, that was his journey, that was his story, and he couldn't take it no more, and he tried to kill himself. He tried to hang himself, and he got to the point to where, um, like I said, he couldn't take it. He tried to take his life, and it's really sad because like he was telling me, I've watched movies and I've seen people talk, as far as military wise, they're talking about the help they get and the help that's offered to them and stuff like that. But from what he told me, that was like the biggest crock of shit in the world. Like they're saying that they don't offer the help like everybody thinks they do. He said the VA hospitals are a joke. He said anything about the VA was a joke. Now I've heard several stories about that being the case. Like you can't really get anything in the VA unless you fight and fight and fight and fight. And he ended up losing his fight and got sent to where he's sent. Now he ended up getting released the same day I did. We actually switched numbers while we were down there, and I've talked to him from time to time. Come to find out, she ended up telling them what happened, like the truth, and they dropped all the charges on him. Ended up like reinstating him and like all kinds of. So I mean, it turned out good for him, but at the same time, like the man had to go through all this unnecessary stuff just for this, all because of one person's word over the other, which is ridiculous to me.
Well, he could have lost all his military benefits.
Yeah. I mean, that was something that
after all them years of service and protecting the country and
Yeah, and it would have
everyone's
been for nothing.
freedom, it would
Yeah,
have
it'd have
been
been for
nothing.
nothing. But see, the crazy part is that's not what he was worried about. He was worried about, once you get to that point and you have that title on your head as far as being, you know, a woman beater or XYZ or whatever, then that never goes away. So that's what he was worried about. And then, like I said, that's all he knows is military life. And like, so to go from being military, your whole, whatever, your whole adult life, to going to a civilian life that you've never witnessed, like I'd imagine that's pretty
That
hard.
it's definitely from a lot that I've seen with like I have a buddy named Will. He was in the army. He was sergeant, paratrooper. He hurt his back, his knees from jumping out of planes,
Yeah.
and they medically retired him. But he still claims to this day that he was physically fit to do it. Like he wasn't hurting, he wasn't bothering. But they medically retired him, told him he couldn't do it no more. And he struggled with, like you said, switching to civilian life, like finding jobs and shit.
Yeah.
The skills you learn military versus life itself is 100% different. He's
Oh
used
yeah,
to hunting people and
100%.
more or less that.
I have a buddy of mine that I went to high school with, Steve Cannon. Um, Good dude, funny dude. Like, that was probably one of my best friends at school. Me, him, and Jacob Griffin. Would always act a damn fool at Huss and have fun times. But he ended up going to the military after he got out of high school, and I talked to him a few times, about certain things, and how he struggled with civilian life, trying to find a job, and this and that, and like he always wanted to go back, but he just never did it. And no, they wouldn't let him because like his mental evaluation didn't go the way they wanted it to, or something like that. And then also, I'll tell another story of a girl that was down there while I was down there. She was very, very young. She was like 14, and she was actually, oh, she might not have been that young. She might be a little bit older, but 16 maybe. She wasn't an adult. I know that. Um, Young girl, real nice, really, really, really energetic and loud. But she was down there, and she tried to kill herself. She tried to run, and the crazy part is she lives like in the same area as I do. Like, she lives 10 minutes down the road from here. I don't know if I ever told you about her, but she lives 10 minutes down the road from here. She goes to York High School and everything. Um, but she tried to run out in front of a bus and get herself killed. Here's the crazy part. Like, after that happened, they took her to the hospital. They did her evaluation and they let her go. Like, they didn't do anything with her. They just let her go back home. They didn't really consider her a threat to herself, so they let her go home.
Or high risk.
Or yeah, but still, like, you literally saw the girl try to throw
That's
yourself in front of a bus,
well,
and
not only that, it's crazy. You said she's loud, energetic, seemed happy.
she was, yeah. Well,
Words,
the whole time I was there,
that's the ones that get you
yeah. I mean, yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't expect that.
No. Now, like, and the crazy part is, and here's the twist on it, because that's not even the reason why they sent her down there. Like, she literally, as soon as they let her go home, she literally tried to hang herself. Like, she done it, and they brought her back at her house,
You know
and
the reasoning?
she never told
She
me.
never said.
No, she just, the crazy part is she was so open about it. Like, she would just, I took a belt and I hung myself, put it in the closet. And I was like, damn,
I
she
wonder if it was
Robert Williams her ass.
bullying or. I mean,
No,
nowadays a lot of it is bullying.
I asked her about bullying. She said no, because apparently, like, she's one of these popular kids. Like, just she played sports, like she cheered, like it was just
It
normal.
was just the mindset.
Yeah, and because I asked her, because we had a lot of group sessions, which, by the way, that does help out a lot. I'm not one of them people that try to open up about my feelings at all. My wife can tell you. I have problems even opening up to her. Still do. It's something I've always done. I'm hard headed as hell, I guess. I mean, I'll admit that. Anybody who knows me knows I am. Um, but yeah, it tripped me out because she was so open about it, and just like it was her normal everyday thing, to where she's just like, yeah, I mean, I tried to do it, and, it is, and she laughs about it like it was just like it wasn't no joke. But the crazy part is, the longer I sat in there with her, the more and more she broke down about why she did it and what she did. Um, she never really came out and said why she done it, though. That was the crazy part. She just said that she was ready to go and she just didn't need to be here anymore. So like the longer that she stayed there, and the more that, and honestly, and also this was not her first time at that facility. She's like her third time at that facility. Like she's been there several times.
So she's learned at an early age. Like, I don't know if maybe she was beaten growing up. What doesn't feel worth something? But to me, it sounds like maybe it's like she's ready to get out of this world because she's already seen the bullshit at a young age.
I don't know. Like I said, she never really opened up about exactly what exactly happened. She would just throw like little small subtle hints of why she couldn't do this and why she couldn't do that. And that was pretty much it. But no, like, and the one story that I'll close it off with, as far as while I was down there, like I said, also while all this is happening, I'm sitting here and I'm so fucking pissed off. Like I'm mad at the fact that my wife had called and basically told the cops that I was going to take my own life. Now, at the time, I did have that mindset to where I wanted to.
I'm happy she did.
No, I mean I am. But here's my thing with that. I guess because I guess at the time I didn't accept the fact that I was having a problem, and I was trying to blame it on everybody else but myself. And I stayed so fucking pissed at her because, like, the thing is, like, we had just split up, so like all the anger and all the hate that we had, and like, just everything where I was just kind of pushing it off on her, trying to make myself hate her. I'm just being completely honest. Um, but once I got to the facility and I was there for a couple of days, and I heard people talking, like I started to, um, I guess I saw myself fitting in with these people, and I'm like, holy shit! Like my problems ain't nowhere near as big as these people's problems, and like, and at that time, like when I first, like my first group session I went to, I was like, man, this is bullshit. Like, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? And like, there's a couple things I regret in my life. One thing is when my mom, right before she passed, she wanted to take a trip to the mountains, and I told her I didn't want to go. And she obviously knew her time was up, and she obviously knew that she wanted to spend time with us before she left, and we didn't do it. So that's one thing I regret. Second thing I regret is the phone conversation I had with my wife right before I went in to the. Actually, no, it was right when I got down to the hospital, to the center. I told her, and I still feel bad about this. She knows I do now. I've told her several times. I told her to forget about me. Don't ever call me again. And she was dead to me. And at the time, like I said, I was still trying to push out my frustrations on her, and like still trying to figure out why she did it, why she called on me, why she did this. But she did it because she loved me. Um, Deep down, I knew that, but we just split up, so I was trying to find every fucking anything I could find to push it to make it seem like she did a bad thing, like where she shouldn't have did it. Like, and like I told my family that too. Like I made her out to be something that she wasn't. And eventually, like as soon as I got out, I went to them because they picked me up from the center. I told them about it, everything. Told them that yes, I mean she was in 100% right for calling and saying what she said. There was no, there's no reason for anybody to get upset that I lied to them whenever I first got there because I didn't know what else to say. And the only person that really called to check in on me as far and talk to my wife as far as um, figuring out what was going on and to tell her that she'd done the right thing was Rocky. Rocky told her that she did the right thing, and that kind of helped her get through it a little bit better. And I didn't know none of this until after I got out, of course. And
I knew about it the whole time.
yeah, well, I know you talked to Rocky, but I'm just saying, like, as far I didn't know this because, like, the only people I really talked to while I was in there was I talked to my daughter a couple times, and then I talked to Ashley at least once a day. And I called you and I called Rocky once or twice, and I called my sister a couple times. But yeah, it's the being out of that world and into something that I never thought that I would ever be in is a big, big, big change. And I appreciate what she done, and I appreciate because I did need to go there. I did need the help. Um,
You needed that hard reality check.
yeah, I mean, yeah, no, 100% I did. It was tough. I mean, it really was. It was tough accepting the fact that I had a problem.
Well,
It's kind of like with alcoholics or drug addicts. You know, it's no different than having mental health problems. You know, and like I said, I never wanted to accept it. And you know, once I got back and sat down and I talked to her, you know, I think no, I don't know. I think I told her on the phone the day before I came home, or a couple of days before that. I can't remember that she did the right thing, and I learned that because whenever we were doing our group sessions, like the military, not the military guy. There was another guy that had a similar situation what I was in, but he was an older gentleman, was married for years, and just lost everything, and like his business, his house, his car. I mean, he lost everything. He was homeless. He was whenever I left. Um, but his situation was similar to mine. He tried to kill himself. Um, I can't remember. He told me how he tried to do it. I think he tried to overdose and kill himself. But no, it made me realize because that man didn't have nobody to call in and to
lean on.
make it to where, you know, well, yeah, I mean, lean on too, but like he didn't have that person that I had. And I know I got more than just her. I'm not saying that, but she was the backbone of that whole situation. And for her to have to keep continuously going through it while I was down there and then be treating her the way I did while I was in there, yeah, she definitely didn't deserve that. And I mean, I still feel like shit to this day. To this day, I know we've moved past it, and like you know, like I said, we're doing good now. But like, um, I still feel bad about it. Yeah, she also deals with anxiety and stuff like that, and you know, I never believed her either. I didn't like, you know, I still thought it was like I said, I still thought it was bullshit until I went through it. Now I'm like, oh fuck, like this whole fucking time I'm sitting here like, oh well, um, this is crazy. This ain't real. This ain't true. This ain't real. And then it just yeah, it hit me in the head. But now it definitely opened my eyes more. Like I definitely see a lot through the eyes of somebody who goes through it constantly every day, and that makes me feel even worse for somebody who does deal with it every single day. Like I still have my days to where I'm struggling as far as like you know where my place is in the world and everything else. But like I think everybody has that. I don't think that's really a mental health problem. I just think that's people just always um, asking themselves if they're good enough for what they're doing. Like I think it's like parents. I think parents always question themselves of whether or not they're good enough parents, or like me, like well, was I a good enough husband, and like was you know,
I mean,
yeah,
I 100% agree. I've been there with my ex. I thought
yeah,
I was marrying that woman, but it is what it is. You learn, pick yourself up, and you go on.
yeah. I mean that's the only thing you can do. But myself, I couldn't just let go something that we worked on for so fucking. I mean, you know, it's only been 3 years, but it
Longer.
feels a lot longer. But I couldn't, and she felt the same way too, which is you know why we're still you know currently you know, we're together, but we're together, but we're separated. Like we're not living together right now, so like we're trying to get things right before you know we go in 100%.
Well, it's good you still have the luxury of being able to work on it together instead of one of you
Yeah,
just saying
yeah.
"fuck this."
No, and that's the way I was whenever I was in the hospital. I wanted to just say fuck it because I thought it was gonna make it easier. And then once I did say fuck it, I realized like oh shit, like
That's the wrong choice.
yeah, because I was like damn that was my normal for so long, and like now it's gone. And then that's what I struggle with the most. But you know, like luckily I have a good supporting cast. You know, my kids both fucking um, adore me and support me in anything and everything I do. I, I got a pretty good set of friends for the most part. Um, I really don't talk to a lot of people.
not an asshole.
Yeah. I don't really talk to a lot of people. Like I know a lot of people, but I don't talk to a lot of people. But yeah, I took a lot of things for granted, and now that I went through what I went through, it has opened up myself and my mind to be more open and more considerate of other people's problems other than my own. And then also I had to learn that my problems were there too, that I need to take care of those instead of just pushing them away. Because I'm one of those thinkers to where if there's a problem, I don't try to fix it. I just push it out of the way and ignore it. And that's a bad way. That's a bad thing to do.
Yeah, it's stacks.
Yeah, because like once there's certain things that trigger me to where it pisses me off right there and then. Certain things. But then you get to the point to where like somebody complains something about something, just random shit. I'm not saying like anything, any person, anything particular, but like
me.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
No, but I'm just saying like little things piss you off. Little things piss me off. It's not nothing unnormal or unusual, um, but I've done pretty good with it. I'm gonna say the last 2 months, I've not let things get to me for the most part. Now I do have my back falls and my slides, just like anybody else does. But I think overall, that experience, this whole conversation came from just from me going through the experience that I went through. Those month and a half changed a lot for me. I'm 39. I'll be 40 in March, and I up until almost 40 years, like I never really had those problems. I never really, or I might have had them, I just didn't know. As far as mental health struggles, but um, it's a journey that I definitely wouldn't change. I think for the most part, it makes you mentally stronger once you go through it. I'm not gonna say that's the case for everybody, but I think for me it was. I think for me it gave me more clarity and to what I'm here for. Um, I mean, I've been a dad since I was 20 years old. So I started young. I had my first child when she got pregnant whenever I was 19 and she was 18, or no, 19 and she was 17. Um, so yeah, I didn't have a choice but to be an adult as soon as that happened, and that also, I ain't gonna say saved my life, but changed the way, because I never was a drug addict. I never drank. I mean, I drank a little bit here and there, but it never was something that controlled my life. Um, I didn't party. I wasn't really a big partier. Like we'd hang out with like our little group of friends that we had when we were younger. When I was like 16, 17, 18 years old, Rocky, Charlie, Jamie, Rainer, Adam, Jason, Aaron. Like I'm probably Rainer, Wyatt. Trying to think of Jennifer, Amanda. Like we had it's probably a group of 20 of us where we were around each other every single weekend, sometimes more. And we never really did anything. I mean, I guess we didn't do anything stupid. We did a lot of stupid shit, but that was our circle. And it's thinned out over the years. I think that's just because people grow apart. I mean, I think I hear people say that all the time, like, oh, you'll grow apart eventually. Oh no, we'll be friends forever, blah blah blah. But I mean, it's true. I mean, especially when you're younger, like there ain't really many people that can sit there and say they have 10, 15, 20 friends that they were friends with in kindergarten or high school, or kindergarten or middle school or something like that. Um,
I have two.
what?
I have two.
Two friends or
Yeah.
oh.
I know why though.
But yeah. So does everybody else.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah. But no, seriously, like this is just like a starting point, to, to the podcast. Like I said, I want to do all topics. I want to do anything and everything that somebody wants to talk about. I don't give a shit if you want to talk about dogs, cats, um, anything. Like this is something that I want to continue to do because I think it's an outlet, and that's one of the things I wanted to be. I wanted to be an outlet for somebody to come in and just talk about whatever. This is going to be the first part of the suicide. I think it's Suicide Prevention or Suicide Awareness Month. I can't. It's one or the other. My cousin told me about it the other day, and I didn't know nothing about it either. James Shaw. He gave me a couple of topics and was talking about that. So this is just going to be part one of that. Like I said, this is a quick run through of what we're doing. We're going to, we're going to have the. I mean, it's the first time we've actually. I've had this stuff to set up for probably about 2 months. And I haven't fucking touched it. It's literally just sat on the table and hasn't moved. And I was like, you know what? We just need to do something. So that's what we did. So this is a quick. I'm gonna say we've probably been doing it for about 20, 25 minutes now. But yeah, it's going to be one of those things to where it's going to be twice a week episodes, maybe more if we get. I mean, because sometimes we're just sitting here not doing anything, so we might just get up and film something. But yeah, it's the ShawNuff podcast. It's on Facebook. Yeah. I got the YouTube channel created. This is going to be on YouTube, but I'm also going to try to post it in other places too. I want to like make some clips of whatever we're talking about and put it on different things. But yeah, that's it.
Well, well, with the whole situation that was talked about in the video itself, honestly, I think we should put in the hotline numbers too.
Yeah, the 188 number. I can't remember what number it is.
Maybe
yeah,
someone watching.
I'll put those.
Having an issue.
I'll put those in the links below and stuff like that. But yeah, if anybody needs to reach out, reach out. Like it's one of those things to where it might be a conversation with me, with him, or with anybody else that might save a person or make it to where they feel better about talking. Because a lot of people don't like talking like myself, even though I've been talking like a fucking teenager this whole time. But yeah, so that's the first one. We're going to do some more, and that's it. I'm Joe, ShawNuff.
I mean,
see y'all later.